Hello, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Michelle's husband, Barack.
Obama does something really smart here. Now, most presenters lose the room in the first 10 seconds, not because they're bad, but because they play it safe. They start with their name, role in a bunch of boring context. Obama doesn't. He starts with surprise, something music unexpected, and you can do the same. In this video, I'll show you 5 powerful ways to start your next speech. Let's start with the first one. Check out these 2 openings and see if you can spot what they have in common.
What's the scariest thing you've ever done? Or another way to say it is, what's the most dangerous thing that you've ever done?
Explain when things don't go as we assume. Or better, how do you explain when others are able to achieve things that seem to defy all of the assumptions?
They both start with a question. And questions are powerful music, because the moment you ask one, your audience engages. Even if they don't answer it out loud, their brain instantly starts searching for an answer. And in that moment, you have their full attention. All right, on to the second one. This is the one that I use the most in my corporate career.
Sadly, in the next 18 minutes when I do our chat, 4 Americans that are alive will be dead.
Anybody in this room, but it's just come to my attention that the person to your right is a liar.
They both open with a surprising statement. It can be a statistic, a fact, or a bold claim that challenges what people believe, something that makes your audience go, wait, isn't that true? And that moment of doubt, well, that's attention. Here's how you do it. Well, first, say the statement slowly and own it. For example, 400, then you pause. The average office desk has 400 times more bacteria than the average music toilet seat. And then you pause again. Let the surprise land before you move on. All right, let's go to the third one. This one is simple, but insanely powerful. I'm going to show you 2 of the most viewed TED Talks of all time, and I want you to spot what they have in common.
So I'll start with this. A couple of years ago, an event planner called me because I was going to do a speaking event, and she called and she said, I'm really struggling with how to write about you on the little flyer. And I thought, well, what's the struggle? And she said, well, I saw you speak, and I'm going to call you a researcher, I think, but I'm afraid if I call you a researcher, no one will come because they'll think you're boring and irrelevant.
I went to see my mother the other day, and she told me this story that I'd completely forgotten about. How when we were driving together, she would pull the car over, and by the time she had got out the car and gone round the car to let me out the car, I would have already got out the car and pretended to have died.
They both start with a story, and stories are powerful because they turn your talk into a movie. The moment a story begins, people stop analyzing and they start experiencing. If you want instant attention, open with the story. But here's the key. Skip the long background and start right into the moment. Where and when does the story take place? What are you doing? What is going wrong? Drop your audience straight into the scene. That's how powerful storytelling looks like. All right, let's go to the next one. Number 4, at the start of your talk, your audience has one question, what's in it for me? And the next speaker answers that perfectly.
And what I want to suggest to you is that many of you are one well-constructed, one well-delivered talk away from absolute explosion of what it is that you want to do.
He starts with a big promise. A big promise tells your audience what they will get by listening to you. Not what you will talk about, but what they will gain. For example, instead of saying, today I will talk about body language, say, by the end of this talk, you'll know how to appear confident in music any high-pressure situation. Now, that's a promise worth listening. But let's now go to the 5th one. This one is, I would say, a little bit more advanced, but when you do it well, it's magical. Watch how these 2 public speaking world champions start their speeches.
What?
They both start with a visual action hook, meaning they don't just say something interesting, they do something interesting, something unexpected, something that looks slightly odd on stage. Not slightly, actually very odd on stage. They are only the beginning. What really matters is whether people understand your ideas. In the next video, I'll show you how to explain your thinking clearly so people can actually follow and remember it. See you there.